Oottimano hunde!
Hello?
All right, let's get Salty in here. All right, cool. All right, so this is going to be the first ever GAC tournament wrap up stream. I'm Tilo, your special or your host, I guess. So thank you guys for all coming with me. If we can go around the horn, we'll say hi to everybody. Starting off with Brandon. How you doing, Brandon?
Hey Tilo, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. We also have GXD with us, another winner in the tournament.
Hey guys, I'm doing well. Thanks for inviting me on.
And then we also have Ray Rock.
Greetings, everyone. Hope you guys are doing fine this Saturday evening.
Good, good. And we also have Salty. Hopefully his audio is working.
I think it's working. Hello?
It's working. You're good.
Awesome. Let's go. Apple headphones for the win, man.
There we go. How you doing, Salty?
I'm doing good, man. Dealing with a little cold, but, holding it down.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it with us. But the reason we're
Me
all
too,
here
man.
is we run a tournament on my Discord. It's the GAC tournament. We've done it for over a year now. I looked back. I was pretty shocked that it's been over a year that we've been running the tournament. And this season's winner, going to give him a big shout out, was Brandon. Came out of nowhere the last 2 weeks and started running the board. And after that, it was hard for anybody to catch him. Anything you want to say, Brandon? You're the winner right now, so the floor is yours.
All good. I think that, well, a lot of planning, like a lot of taking advice from you, from Calvin, from other streamers. Yeah, it's like a shared win. I just learned a lot from you guys.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's what we try to do. That's what we show our videos, our mess ups, our fails. So hopefully you guys don't do the same. But all right, so we're gonna do a little interview section with you guys, kind of get to know you. That way, everybody kind of gets to know you guys. I'm gonna ask questions that we can go throughout the table. We'll go Brandon, then GDX, Ray Rock, and then Salty last. So to start off, let's start to get to know how you feel about Star Wars. What's your favorite Star Wars character in game?
Well, I think that Jedi Knight Luke is my strongest character right now, and he's awesome. Like he kills too many things, and I'm having a lot of fun with him. So I will go with JKL.
JKL is an awesome one. And you know
Yes.
what? We'll add to the question as well. What's your favorite in-game Star Wars character, and as well as your regular lore Star Wars character?
Endgame, I would say Jedi Master Kenobi. He looks awesome too. I'm
Yeah,
going from I think I'll get him after Jedi Master Luke. I'm
yeah.
trying to say abbreviations, but
No, no, you're
it's a
good.
little hard. And in lore perspective, Anakin. Anakin. I
Anakin's a
grow
good
up
one.
with the prequels. Like I love that. I love that guy and all his path through, anger and etc. It's interesting to watch him. So
100%. I'm with you right there. That's my favorite lore character as
okay,
well.
awesome.
What about you, GDX? What's your favorite in-game Swoga character and outside of the game?
So in-game character, I'm gonna go with Revan in general, both dark side and light side, because they're awesome. The video game's awesome. They're sort of my two favorite teams right now. And then lore-wise, it's gotta be Yoda. That scene with Yoda fighting Dooku is just incredible. And I mean, I don't know, Yoda's just iconic.
Yeah, Yoda's a beast. Yoda's up there for me. Even Hermit Yoda. I think all his iterations are really just awesome, especially when it comes to lore. What about you, Ray Rock? What would be your two picks?
I have to go with my Rebels for faction because that's my first true arena team. I know it kind of got overshadowed by Revan. The meta only lasts 2 weeks. I got the chance to use them, climb into the top 30 for 2 weeks, and that was it. But for character-wise, I would have to pick Jedi Luke. I mean, that character really got me from, I guess, a mediocre team without a GL to beat GL to incorporating the GL team as currently is. So yeah, Jedi Luke.
That's a good choice right there. And even now too, Jedi Luke is awesome. That dude just hits. Sometimes it surprises me too, especially when he starts hitting those tanks, how quickly they melt. It's insane.
For sure.
All right, and what about you, Salty? What would be your picks?
So favorite character in the game, I think mine's probably like Rex. He's always been a favorite for me, especially for like Sith Raid. I was getting massive damage out and stuff like that, like way before GLs and stuff. It was my first farm was Clone Troopers because I just love Clone Troopers and lore character is probably going to be Anakin. If I had to pick a second, it would be Commander Doom um, from the Clone Wars TV show. Love that guy. His armor's sick.
Which faction was he? What was his Jedi General? I remember the name.
Man, who was it? It was the two twin Jedi. They both fought together.
Oh, was it
Man, I can't.
Luminara and Barris?
No, 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 no. It was the two alien ones. I can't get their names. Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
All right, for sure. I want to know now. Now you piqued my interest. All right, so
Um,
while he
it
looks
was
at that,
it was Commander Tipley and Tiplar.
okay, the ones where the clone accidentally triggered Order 66 a little bit early.
Yeah, I think it was Tup.
Yep, that was a good arc, and I have to remember his armor now. Now you're gonna make me go look at it.
Oh man, it's sick.
That's dope. All right, so for the next question, Ray Rock, you kind of answered this already. Um, what is your favorite faction in game? And the same thing,
Yep.
in game, and then also lore. So we'll start
Uh,
off with Brandon. We'll go back to you, Ray Rock. I got you.
My favorite faction in game, I would say, is Jedi. They are very strong. When I came back to the game, that's the first faction I developed again. So, and it's a lot of fun, like you can match them however you want, or depends on the situation. So they are pretty flexible, I think. And lore, I would say after, well, I like a lot the some Sith, like part of the dark side. Yeah. So yeah, I will go with in lore wise the Sith, my favorite faction.
I feel you on that. The Sith have some awesome characters. Then you pick the biggest factions on both of them, the Jedi and the Sith. That's great. What
Yeah,
about you, GX?
I'm not
Uh-huh.
so deep inside the Lord wise you or as you or Calvin, like I just watched the movies and I
Hey,
play a lot of Swobo.
hey,
That's all.
you pick some of the best right there. So you good. All right. What about you, GXD or GDX? I always want to say that. I don't know why.
No worries. I'd have to go with Galactic Republic. I mean, you got Padme's squad there. You've got Gas and Shock clones. I mean, it's just really strong teams, fun teams, and then Negotiator and the Galactic Republic fleet is just awesome. So in game, definitely Galactic Republic, and I think I'd go with lore wise also. Yeah, I really like the initial trilogy. At first, I kind of thought it was a little cheesy, mainly because of Anakin's acting, Hayden Christensen. But I don't know, it's grown on me over time. And then got the oh, what's the cartoon
Clone Wars?
that came? What? Yeah. Clone Wars is pretty solid too.
No, Clone Wars is good. And I'm with you on that. I think the prequels had such a bad rap because a lot of the OT trilogy fans, they went on it so hard to where like it almost felt like negative towards me. I felt like an outsider. It's like, do I like these because everybody else does it? But after a while, I think we all got older, especially that age group where the prequels really hit. That we were like, forget it. We like these. We grew up with these. They're awesome. And if you look at it, the story itself is an awesome story. Delivery can be a little bit rough at times, but story wise, great in the prequels.
Yeah, if you can just ignore Hayden Christensen's acting and like actually even his acting's kind of grown on me a little bit, and it's like I almost feel like he's meant to be a little awkward.
Yeah. No, and I think you could tell the difference of actor he was from the episode 2 to episode 3. In episode 3, he's definitely portraying more stuff as an actor than episode 2. Episode 2, I feel you. He gets a little cheesy at times. But all right, Ray Rock, what about you? We already know what your favorite faction in game is.
Yeah, the Rebels, as I mentioned. Um, Again, my first arena team, and then what I like about it when CG introduced Chupio, that really was a game changer because now I'm able to reuse that team and counter, I guess you could call a mini mega team like Gas File Furs. If you mod them right, you could probably counter some of the not well modded SC teams. I have counter resistor with it. Try to think what else I have counted. A lot of team. I mean, the one that really surprised me, introduced by Xeris, was using COS to counter Padme team. I never thought that would happen because of the constant assist, but with Chupio, it really bring that team to another level per se.
Yeah, no,
But,
definitely. That's an easy 60 banners if
right.
you can manage to time everything correctly. Like that's almost like a team that I automatically put for Padme.
And for lore, I never thought I would like the Old Republic. Like when CG introduced the Sith and Revan, I was like, I don't know any of this because I never really follow. I just kind of more into the trilogies and the newer movies. But it kind of grew on me as the game progressed. I guess I did a lot of video watching on YouTube, just try to find out what the backstory on the Old Republic is.
Mhm.
So that whole faction, whether it's Sith or the Jedi, just in general, the Old Republic era is probably I would have to say for the lower part.
That's a good choice too. A lot of people would be agreeing with you. That's some of people's favorite Star Wars moments of all time is the Old Republic. I'm right there too. Like I don't know for say I would say maybe Revan for me, but Darth Bane. Ooh, I love me some Darth Bane. All right, and what about you, Salty? What are your two favorite factions?
So in game, my favorite faction is Clone Trooper. As stated before, I don't know, man. They're just fun to use, you know. Like, and especially with the addition of Bad Batch into it, it's just it's like a whenever I first started playing, kind of feel like, oh, I can do it again, and you know, kind of relive it. How like whenever I started playing, the clones were kind of awful before the rework, and they were my first team, and you know it's just fun to see the Bad Batch give it new light and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
And then in lore, probably would have to be the Sith. I guess the what would it be? The Sith Legion, I guess, from like the Old Republic, uh, like the SWTOR series, the MMO.
yeah,
I just feel like it's just very cool that it's like the Jedi Order, but more, you know, Sith, and just you got all these very OP Sith and just legions of troopers that are there, and it's just I feel like it's very, very untouched potential that they could go into with it. You know.
yeah. I definitely can see it. You're talking about like the Malgus era.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
Malgus and like the era after Darth Revan,
yeah.
and like all the descendants and stuff, like the Revanites and all this, and like there's just so much un- lore there, you know, like that they could go into. But I mean, I hope they go into it, but I don't think they.
Who knows? High Republic has a lot of promise. They've like hinted at little things here and there, so hopefully. But it's interesting to see that both you and Ray Rock, you guys' factions are Old Republic. That's awesome. All right. So let's go on to the next question. What is your guys' favorite game mode? So we're in the GAC thing, so I think I know what it is, but just in case, Brandon, what's your favorite
Uh,
game mode?
Actually, I like territorial battles quite more than GAC, but I enjoy both. You know, like TV is like everybody gathering around. You know, like putting some effort. I know many guys are tired of it, but I enjoy a lot making more waves each time. You know, so
Yeah,
definitely I like more TV than GAC. GAC is like for me the love started because I wasn't getting high spots in arena when I came back to the game. So GAC was a really great place to have another currency, you know, another income. So it's great, you know, it's quite a lot of fun there.
that's awesome, man. That's a good one. But interesting that TW is your favorite. How do you enjoy the changes? Are you happy about them, or are you a
No,
little bit
no,
more upset?
TV territorial battles. No,
Oh,
no,
you
no
said
TW.
TB. Oh,
TV,
okay.
yeah, TV.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
how?
I know that many people are tired of it, like from repetition, you know. But I quite like it, you know, especially with late side Geo. Ray Rock also. Well, we were guildmates, and he knows how much I love that challenge. You know, like go and smash it and try to get as many waves as possible. You know, I
That's
quite
awesome.
like, yeah.
No, that's really good right there, especially with the TV. That's interesting. I don't hear that a lot. Usually it's like TW or GAC or something else, but not a lot of TV. So that's awesome. What about you, GDX? What's your favorite game mode?
GAC, GAC, GAC.
My man. There we go.
I also like Fleet just because I get all the crystals. Number one, 95% of the time. And
Hey, there we go.
sweet, I got a sweet Fleet shard. We've got a Fleet chat going on. Good guys.
That's good. Hey, whatever's gonna give you crystals, I'm all about it too. So I feel you right there. What about you, Ray Rock?
I like GAC, but I'm kind of like Brandon. I like TW. It really grew on me The again at the start when it was introduced, you get frustrated just like anybody else because you don't have the team or the character or the faction to really be successful. Not even talking about light side. I'm just talking about beginning, even the dark side. Because I remember when my previous guild, not my current guild, when we were tackling that, we couldn't even come barely getting out of phase two. I remember that. And it was just frustrating because, when you don't have the right, not just the right team, but at the right gear level, it's hard to get those missions accomplished. But once you get all the pieces in there, it really is a game changer. For example, I know you're familiar with Mr. Jigabachi. He loved TB and streaming, and that's what I think me and Brandon, he kind of changed our mind gradually. Unlocking those key characters, like I say, Jedi Luke, Old Man Luke, GLK, really, really make the game a lot more. I still wouldn't say like super fun, but it's more enjoyable than before. Um, RNG is a big part, and that's the part that we have no control over. And unfortunately, that's what typically frustrates most of the player base, including myself.
100%. RNG can be rough, especially if you say you go in there with CLS and you end up with GG at the end. Oh man, that can give you a wrench if you don't play it correctly.
Well, for example, I give you a prime example. This last TW, I remember I used Shack Clone, always get good success, 3 out 4 way or 4 out 4, phase 1, phase 2. Phase 3, 3 out 4, and then, for phase 4 for my guild, we do cam mission. But this particular TB, I was having a rough time with. I don't know, it was the change from CG on Shaq's kit or fives, but the Tickle Tank DDK one shot at my fives on phase 1 twice. So I couldn't even get 3 waves. I got like 2 waves on P1, and on P2 only got 1 wave. I was like super mad, really.
I feel you. Those Droidicas can give you nightmares. Those things
I
are
have
out of
never
control.
happened to me before, back to back phase, getting fives taken out so early. I mean, I was expecting a sacrifice and I didn't get that. That was just incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, no, I
And the
feel you.
sniper droid.
Oh yeah, the sniper droids are nasty too. Both of them, the Droidica and the sniper one. Ugh. I hate once I see them, they're like priority number 1, unless I have to go for something else.
Well, I could tell you one thing. Having Cat really makes that mission a lot easier if I'm running GLK Jedi's.
I didn't really get to experience her too much, but the times I did, she was a game changer. Even
Yeah,
with
for
Ray,
sure.
she was real nice too. All right, and what about you, Salty? What are your favorite game modes? Or your favorite game mode?
So I feel like my favorite game mode is probably the raids. Like I mean, I wish there were more raids, but raids and definitely TB. I like the coordination aspect of it all, and like everyone, getting together to accomplish the feats and the goals. Um, Especially like once you start seeing progression, um, guild wise and yourself, like. Um, 2 light side TBs ago, we were only getting maybe 4 cam shards, and then we started streaming it. Now we're up to 10 with potential to go up to maybe even 15 or 20 in the future, and hopefully more than that. But that's just, I mean, it's like it's just nice to see progression, especially whenever things start feeling boring and very dead in the game. Seeing um, progression within your guild and everything. It just kind of it's like a pat on the back until things start getting better in the game and more fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I feel you right there, and especially Cam. I think Cam and Watt were really good, and I think that's something I really enjoyed in TB because you would see the number grow from every time you would do it. 1 month, maybe you had 10. The next month, you had 25. Having that number grow was exciting. I know for my guild, we were doing pretty well on Cam, It was like a bare minimum we wanted to hit was like around 40. But every once in a while we would go lower or higher. But depending on if it was lower or higher, the guild would react to that. If it was lower, they were a little bit more upset. If they were higher, they were really happy. So I definitely feel you. Stuff like that is really nice. And raids are the same thing. I from all the way back when it was the triumvirate raid, the first time clearing that. I don't know if you guys remember your guys' first time clearing that raid. How happy you guys were. Even C Pit too. That's another one.
Oh
If
yeah.
you've done it,
See,
how happy you get.
yeah, our guild just actually we just ended up clearing C Pit. I think we're on our third one now. So it's very just a nice weight off of my back and all the other officers' backs in our guild. So it's just like we're just at ease with the game. You know, it's so nice to finally be there at that point where we don't have to stress about anything for the time being, except Cam.
Heck yeah, though. Congrats on that too. That's awesome.
Thank you,
All right.
man.
No worries. All right, so now we're going to go into the main section of this. We got to know you guys a little bit, what do you guys like, but now we're going to talk about GAC and some highlights that happened last season. So, going to start off with Brandon again. He is our championship of the GAC tournament, so another kudos to him. But what was your best opponent in match of last season?
I think that my last match was the toughest because I was facing do you remember the ratio, the division you make between the defensive banners and the offensive banners? And this guy was around 15%, you know? Like, he always goes very full in offense and leaves trash, you know? So I have to place a really tough defense. And, well, I used Prime Bot and all that stuff. But he changed it a little bit, some defense. So he played me the Dart Revan and Prey and stuff. But that was the only team he had to his defense. And I'm telling you that it was garbage. Phoenix, Ewoks, etc.
Oh, man.
So this is one of those matches where I was expecting the top 10, you know, but in week 3 I failed full clearing Turkin fleet, so that was the end of the top 10 chase. So
Oh, that's
I was
tough.
expecting to after the last match to have to make most points as many points as possible, and I ended up making all feats and everything. But no, the gap between other guys that were sandbagging feats was too high. So
Yeah.
yeah, Division 5 and Division 6 are very populated right now after Conquest changes because people want all of those characters from Conquest. So
So,
very
so,
populated.
so they're bloating their GP so they can get
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and also, for example, my advantage when I came back to the game was that I have many fleets from Fleet 1.0. So those were added to my matchup GP, and I was facing guys with that were very top heavy developed. So my fleets counter the top heavy relic characters. So I was like, I started observing that pattern in the matchmaking. So right now I'm facing a lot of guys with many ships and not too much top heavy or relic development because of this bloat, you know, this bloat
Um,
to start making conquest. So it's weird. It's weird. These divisions are very strange.
so
So
if it flipped on you, that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it flipped. It flipped. I was like too dominant, but right now because I'm facing more efficient players. For example, I don't have a GL yet, and I'm 4.8 million GP. So I faced 4 guys with GLs, and just the first one was on defense because it was an auto deploy, and I cleared it with it was JML, and I cleared it with GG. So yeah, send
Very
in
nice.
first a burner and then use GG, and it goes pretty well. So I was a little lucky this season because no one tends to place a GL for me in defense. So they keep it to try to clear me,
Yeah.
So it went well for me this season.
That's
Really.
good. That says something about your defense too. That they feel a tendency to hold their GLs against you.
Yeah.
So that's really good. All right, and what about you, GDX? What was your best opponent and best match?
Yeah, so best opponent slash match. I faced someone with, and so just for reference, my account's at 2 million GP, and I went really heavy ships early on to get those fleet crystals. So like I was getting really brutal matches early on until like I kind of hit 2 awesome fleets and then just stopped upgrading them. So I've been getting sort of easier opponents over time. So I had this one opponent who had not only a Darth Revan with Malik, which is just I can't deal with it in any way, shape, or form. But also they had a really high relic JTR team, um, and I just looked at that and I was like, "There's nothing I can do against either of those teams." So, and in their history, they always put the JTR team. It's like several of the characters were 300 speed or higher, which is kind of rough at my GP. And
Yeah.
so I knew like I was going to have a tough time getting the full clear, and it seemed kind of impossible. So I went super heavy on defense and ended up they didn't clear a single zone of mine, and I cleared the top and their fleet. Um, so I just thought that was a huge win, given they had better speeds than me and 2 teams that I had no chance. If they just put those 2 teams, one in the top, one in the bottom, it would have been game over. So getting that win felt pretty good.
Heck yeah. Especially when you can outsmart your opponent like that, and it seems like you were outgunned and you were still able to manage the team just by placement. That's awesome, man.
And for this GAC, I'd say my MVP was I got GG to relic level, and so my GG team is relic 4 GG, and then all gear 8 separatist droids. So they're just there to die and get him turned. And so I have an 80,000 GP separatist droid team, and it just forces them to throw down either really good teams to counter it, or get atrocious banners, or they lose it because they try to underdog it. So it's just like super efficient GP use because it's hard to deal with in an intelligent manner. So getting him to relic made all the difference. Even at like G12, he's kind of garbage.
Yeah. No, the higher relics he is, the more deadly he's going to be with that health that he gets. But that's awesome, man, that you could be able to put those Gear 8 characters. I try to do a similar thing in 3v3. I'll just put like gear whatever so they die and then they trigger his AoEs and everything. That's great.
Yeah, I got Newt, so then Newt triggers it twice too, so it's like
Ooh, that's
extra
nasty.
obnoxious. And I got lucky on this one mod. I think it's got like it's an arrow. It's a health arrow that I have 6 dotted with like 20 speed or something like that. And so, that's just one extra 16% health mod on GG. So and I'm thinking about replacing the potency triangle or the potency cross with a health cross, just so he's like that much more obnoxious. Since I mean, he ramps his potency when he doesn't get the debuffs anyways. So I mean, you don't really need that potency.
I think for the way you're running it, maybe a health might be the way to go. But potency's nice too. I run potency on mine, but the way you're running it, like a time bomb kind of style, maybe health might be the way. And Vanciel says, "What's up in the chat? We're doing good, man. How you doing?"
Hey, Vanciel.
All right. And what about you, Ray Rock? What was your best opponent and best match of last season?
Boy, if you didn't read my comment on your GAC tournament update, then you guys missed it. But I'll go ahead and summarize for you. My best match, I kid you not, I usually let me go back all the way to the beginning. Usually, what I do is before I join GAC, I make sure, like everybody, I'll make sure I got all mods. I make sure I could get the max upgrade without spending too much or any of my resources. I'm a major hoarder. If you don't know it, just ask Brandon. I mean, he was my guildmate for quite some time. So anyway, I like to do as much upgrade before I joining the GAC, and usually I join about an hour before. Again, I like to join earlier, but my I guess the store reset at 1 p.m. my time, and GAC join period ends at 4. So I got about, I guess, less than 3 hour window to do my upgrade. And so as I always do, I join about an hour before GAC, ends. And usually I get pretty good draw. I draw European player mostly. I don't know why. Maybe it's their evening over there and they just relaxing and enjoying. But for this last week particular, I did get European draw, but I had some really tough player in my last bracket. And my round 2, week 4 player was the number 2 ranked player or Division 3.
Oh, I saw this.
I
This
was
is
like,
good.
oh man, this is rough. This is going to be rough. And I'm just looking at as soon as GAC open, I'm just checking out on my potential competition. I have never gotten matchup in a group with GLK this whole season up until this last week. I have 2 guys, and that number 2 ranked player was one of them who had GLK. I was like, okay, well, I could do this because I just unlocked my executor last month, so I got the ship advantage. I knew that. For my wise, I check out his mods, and he just blew me out of water. I know there's no way I could compete with him mods, so I got to think of something more smart, like what GDX was saying. You got to outsmart them, and that's what I did. I usually place both my GL on the front wall in the past, and that did not work. I mean, the good player will manage to clear you no matter what. So what I did this particular battle was I set my meta team. So my fastest team, I know that was strip banners. I put my COS, I put my Darth Revan, and I think I put my, try to think here, Shaq Clones or GG up front, and I put my GOK in the back. And then I just say my Old Man Luke for offense. Because in the past, I put them on both on defense. They just rack it. I don't have enough team to really clear them efficiently. I wind up losing. And I figured, well, I'm not doing that again because, it fell me twice. So for this time, I was able to slow him down. I actually tripped him up on a couple of battles. I managed to, I think, was it GG? I tripped him up once, so he had to take 2 teams to clean that up. He got to my back wall, saw my GLK. I think he did save one of the GLs because I went back to look back the history just early this week. He did use a mirror match, but to my surprise, he only got 47 banners, which really surprised me because his mods on his team is a lot faster. So I think he must have misplaced somehow and only get 47 banner on a mirror match. He got stuck on my executor, just took one attempt. That was it. So I knew the only way I could win was to, just have enough team on defense to strip banners. I know I can't probably keep him from full clearing me on the ground troop, but as long as he can't clear my ship zone, I'll be fine. And that's what happened. So I was able to almost one-shot everything. I had one battle that I don't know how I trip up, but I did. I remember now. I was going for the feet.
Oh, those will do it.
Yeah, I was going for the Palpatine, Vader, Jedi Luke feat on against Resistant Ray, JTR. I thought, those guys are good, but I got three great, you know, character. Plus, I throw in the Hoda and Thrawn. I figured, okay, 5-on-5, no problem. But they got the turn meter train going. I was like, holy crap, I'm going to lose this. So I had to hurry up and quit out the battle, and I had to like pretty much think how I'm going to go about to full clear them without losing too much more banners.
Yeah.
What I should have done was took in my Shaq clones against them and used my, the Vader, Palpatine, and Jalu against his bugs. His bugs was only gear 12, so that's a big mistake. Again, that's your next question. I know you mentioned that on your notes. So that's the biggest mistake I had made this GAC.
Just placement. Yeah,
Yep.
it's like that too, and it's funny how it seems like for me too. JTR is one of those sneaky teams that will come up on you. Sometimes you forget about how much TM they gain and how if they get going, that TM train goes that you don't even get a turn
Yeah.
if things line up correctly for them.
And I kind of really underestimate because I figure I got great that combination. I know Jedi Luke and Hoda doesn't have synergy with the Empire, but my character, my Hoda was at 328 speeds. I figure, well, that's way faster than the JTR team, and my Thrawn is not at 303.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I said, they just got the TM train rolling. I couldn't stop it. I had to back out.
BB-8, the catalyst to that squad right there. All right, and what about you, Salty? What was your best opponent in match?
So my best opponent was he had a SEE, and like Malik and all the core teams. He was a set roster, like solid for where I'm at. I think I'm in Division 7, 3.6 mil around there, and he was same roster as me, very focused, like Galactic Republic, Grievous, Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, Malik, and then going for the GL. He had the GL. I don't yet. I'm still farming tickets, but I mean, it was just a close all around match, we both started at the same time and finished at the same time and said GG's afterwards, but it ended up I won, I think, by 5 banners. He cleared my bottom. I cleared his top. Got his ships. He got stuck on my GG, and I managed to 8 battle his half garbage, half decent Night Sister team until I beat it. And I got to the back wall, and it was just like, oh man. Whew. It was a close one, and I'm just like, I was kind of dumbfounded that I won because up until that point where I had cleared the Night Sisters, it was just like neck and neck, just a 5 banner difference, and he would have won. He told me his game crashed. And if he would have won, he would have cleared one of my fleets, and he would have beat me. But I won due to technicality. But it was the closest one that season, so I took it.
And you mentioned that you're in the process of getting a GL. Has that made your matchups a little bit harder? I know for me personally, when I call it the ugly face because it's like you're growing your account when you have all these characters relic, but you don't have the benefit of having that GL. Did it affect your season in any way?
Yes and no. It affected it to the point where my first 2 weeks, and then a few matchups in the last week, they all had GLs or they were farming GLs. I should have Kenobi before next season, and that's going to be very fun for me. Sticking him on defense, and that is it. I will hopefully hold 4 for 4 every time. Um, So next up is Bad Batch, and then that's going on defense. So um, it shook it up a little bit, and being so small and not having counters is just very just like a bad side to that, especially whenever you don't have the GL yet, but you're there. So I think I'm at I need one more 60 ticket of the tier 3, and I'll have him.
Ooh, you're gonna be close. You're gonna be close to luck.
Yeah. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
but that's awesome. And for everybody that's in the chat too, Salty is our winner for the defensive player of the season. He had the most helds. Really good job when it comes to the defensive end. He gets that Obi-Wan Kenobi award for the season. So kudos to you, dog.
Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Um, and Zeke says Zeref did the crazy display of discipline where he had held on to all his resources until he was ready to get to GL's craziness. Yeah, and that's what I usually try to do. I've done it with I think the 4 GLs. Kenobi's the only time I've ever broke that, just because of his requirements are all pretty much useful, and I could use them. Meanwhile, I was going for the farms, but 100% agree with what Zeros did right there. That's the way to go.
I did the same thing. Funny you mentioned that, Tilo. I was like you. I didn't really upgrade anybody past G12. I just held a gear. But with GLK Farms, like all those characters, I was able to use them on the light side TB. So I go, why not? Just bring them up to their level requirement. I might as well use them. I mean, they're usable.
Yeah, JMK's requirements are awesome. Like I wanted my Django at R7. The only one that was like a little bit iffy was Watt. But even then, having them at like R5 is nice just for the like C pit. But all right, let's move on to the next question. We got a couple more questions in GAC. We'll go with Brandon. Biggest mistake of the season.
Well, I think that you can make mistakes during placing D and while attacking now. So my mistake placing D was that I felt too comfortable with my rebels on offense. So I went in. I placed Malevolence and Tarkin Empire fleet. So I went on offense with Negotiator and Rebels. So did the Rebels versus Executrix and wasn't able to clear Bomber. So man, that was rough, and that was the fight that kept me away from top 10 because I wasn't able to clear Tarkin. Just because I went too hard on defense with Blitz.
That's
And
tough.
the other one attacking is that I I tried one match a nest solo against Phoenix, but I underestimated Relic 5 Ezra, and he just make the first special. I saw him like making that special move and killing my nest one shot and goodbye. Yeah, 20 banners away. And two mistakes I make. I think the worst. Like.
Yeah. And they're not even bad mistakes. You still hit top 16. But
Uh,
it's funny how we'd still look back and we're like not satisfied. We're like, I wanted my top 10.
but I'm not that. I don't like to play that to that point where I need
Yeah.
to do like 63. My roster is unable to do that.
Yeah.
Is way far. For example, I share a guild with Rose before Rose. The other guy from the tournament. He also reaches top spot. Well, we both we're both in my alt and his account. We are in the same guild, and man, he really goes for 64, 64, 63. Like Malak solos, etc. And all of those battles to get to top one, and his quality roster is 10. Like he
Yeah,
really
no.
likes GAC. Like. And I can't develop that level of, like, no, I can't. I'm
Yeah,
unable to do it.
it takes a
My respects
commitment.
to those people. Like they can, okay. Cheers, what? Yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, but because I'm unable to do it. Yeah.
No, Rogoshid's roster is awesome. He was
No, no,
gonna
no.
maybe
Rose
possibly.
before Bros. Charlie, the
Oh,
top.
okay, okay,
Yeah, we are in the same guild in Armageddon. With Prevailman.
yeah,
Very, very GAC competitive guild. But
yeah.
small, 200 million, 2,000 million GPL. Small, but
Small but
everyone
mighty.
there, yeah, everyone there likes GAC, and that's all we do. All we do, yeah, GAC.
But that's awesome too because it's like iron sharpens iron. Especially
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
with a group of guildmates that are all like GAC, it's gonna make you better too.
And also, I learned a lot from those guys because while developing, for example, the JKL farm, I did like everyone, Relic Zero, and in that guild, everyone does the same way. They go for C and etc. And we try to keep low, like really casual, but it's like I think that is the way to keep enjoying the game, like controlling matchup GP, because
hundred
if you
percent.
yeah if you want to develop like a lot of relics and so on, it's like a little frustrating. Well, I feel that way in many
Yeah,
parts of the game, you know
100%
but
agree
yeah,
with you.
I talk a lot of.
No, no, you're good. You're good. All right. And what about you, Ray Rock? What was your biggest mistake? Even though you touched on it a little bit, but if you want to expand on it,
Yeah, as I mentioned, that was probably that round two last week was it's I don't know, maybe it's the way I play because I usually don't attack until the last 2 hours, and that kind of put pressure on myself because if something goes wrong, you kind of panic a little bit because you're facing against time and you don't have too much time. But usually I got a good system going. I go in the day before when the defensive review. I go and take a look what I'm going up against, and then I'll just go ahead and list all the teams I'm going to be facing, and I try to create a list of counters, and I put on a spreadsheet. That's something I learned from Solo Base, so kudos to Solo Base for giving that idea. And that really helped me with my GAC. I mean, since I've been using that, I'm able to um, I don't want to say not able to full clear before, but I'm able to be a little more efficient because of planning. But for this particular instance, it kind of caught me off guard because, like I said, I was going for feet, and I think that was really my downfall. Overestimating my team or Palpatine, Vader, Thrawn, Jedi Luke, and Holder going against JTR. I know he had good mods on his team, but like I said, I have a really fast Holder. I thought that's going to be enough. The only other bad mistake I made was in week two, round two. I almost lost that match. That would have probably stopped me from getting into the top 100 in Division 3, by the way. I finished at 82. But that week two, round two, I wasn't able to full clear at all. Again, it was probably my fault because I kind of waited to, I think it was an hour and 15 minutes before I attacked. And something went sideways. And again, that kind of threw me off because you're pulling teams off the counters that you had planned on to clean up the team that you messed up on. And that kind of got me panic a little bit. Again, the executor was what saved me because my opponent couldn't clear it.
yeah,
He only cleared one zone, and I was able to clear one zone, but I was able to get to his back zone um, and clear one more team and didn't lose, didn't have the two shot where he had to like two shot, I think, three of my teams. So that was the difference. If I had to do it again in the future, I probably, especially with 3 versus 3, you need to allow yourself more time. I mean, there's just so many more three-man team you have to clear. So going forward, yeah, that's something I probably won't make the same mistake again. Just allowing myself a little more time and
yeah,
you know keeping a little bit more on offense. I think because I don't want to say heavy defense. I would say 60, 40% 60% on defense, 40% on offense. On the
Okay.
tougher opponent, what I need to do is, maybe do 50-50 just to
Okay.
ensure the full clear.
No, and that's really good right there, and that's something that we all can take account for. Is when you attack last, yeah, you get a big advantage, but you got to make sure you still have enough time. My last opponent in this GAC season actually ran into that. He just ran out of time. He started a little bit too late, and he couldn't get the full clear. I ended up getting the win, even though I made a couple of mistakes. So it happens. A lot of people run into that, trying to get that advantage. But all right, GDX, what about you? What was your biggest mistake?
I had to go audio only because my 3-week old son, I need to feed him. So
Okay,
I'm
no, no,
multitasking right
no, no worries. I know how it is. You're good.
now. Yep, yep. So my biggest mistake, I lost to a freaking Mace Windu fleet. So I didn't get the full clear. So it feels kind of bad. I mean, he had like all the relics on like Anakin and Ahsoka and all of that. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. But my Tarkin, Houndstooth, and Geos just couldn't quite take it out, and I missed unlocking Malevolence for that round by like 300 get two. And if they had just given us those Shock T 500 get two a little bit earlier, then I could have had my Malevolence and trounced it. So I was a little pissed about that.
That's
But I
tough.
mean, all in all, like I don't know, I had a pretty good. I didn't really mess up too much this GAC. I guess that's why I did well.
That's good, man. That's good.
I did have
All
one
right.
situation where I placed a team in the wrong spot, and I thought that was going to screw me over. Like I meant to put it bottom, and I put it top instead. But they got the full clear, so it really didn't affect me, and I just won on efficiency.
Oh, that's awesome. I did that on accident. I meant to put SLKR on defense, and I ended up putting C on defense. I was so sad. I was like, why C? But
Oops.
it happens. But all right, next question. The next one is going to be best team that you guys used this season. So, what was your MVP squad, or on defense or offense? But if you had to choose one, which one would it be, Brandon?
CLS with Chipio because it was needed for the hits, so I placed gas on defense and kept CLS, and man, he's awesome. I've been not placing him for a long time for defense, and like using him in GAC is nice. He's very strong, and like Ray Rock was saying at the beginning, they are very strong and can take many teams.
100%. And that's one of those teams, good on offense or defense, very flexible. All right, and what about you, Ray Rock? What was your best team overall? MVP.
Oh, it's going to be a split. I would have to say between my Sith Empire and COS. I got both usually on defense, but on a couple occasions I say COS for offense because I knew I needed to have extra team to beat the gas file first. But if I know my opponent don't put gas files first on defense and use it for offense, I'll go ahead and put it on defense. A lot of people, as you know, don't check mods, and I'm really work on my modding for my COS team, giving the team a lot of tenacity, so they're able to resist a lot of debuffs and keep, get the turn meter going. I think that really surprised my opponent because I look back on history, I'm getting a lot more hold than sometime I would expect. I'm thinking probably opponent didn't check mods, didn't realize my COS at 105% tenacity, my
Nice.
2E at 104%, and my 2PO at 103%. And once that, as you know, once the turn meter train going, you can't stop it. It's the only way is to back out. And with the Sith Empire team, that was also my main defense MVP too. I would say cold defense MVP because everybody knows if you're Darth Revan go first, doesn't matter if it's a mirror match or throwing Padme, COS, gas, it's gonna wreck you if your modding's not right. And I got some holes on that too. From I don't know. Again, my opponent maybe didn't check the mods, make sure they put it on an even keel level, and they're not getting outspeeded. But yeah, those two teams was my bread and butter for defense.
Great teams right there too. Awesome defensive teams. Those are always nasty ones to fight against. All
For
right,
sure.
what about you, GDX? What was your best team overall, MVP?
I think my best overall team is probably a tie between my Jedi Knight Revan and my Padme. I just use Padme on defense like 95% of the time. It's pretty good at getting holds. It doesn't do great on offense with banners. It can get through pretty much anything that I play against, but you're probably getting 55 banners, so I try to take that one on defense. And then Jedi Knight Revan on offense. It's Jedi Knight Revan, Bastila, Jolie, um, Yoda, and then Hermit Yoda, who's like 5-star gear 10, whatever, but like, you know, you don't really need too much on Hoda. So that just uh, solid clears pretty much anything that I go against.
Yeah, that's a good one too, especially the Padme squad. Especially what you said, you're around 2 million GP.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Padme on defense. That's definitely going to be somebody's problem if you place it there. But I definitely feel you on offense. It's almost like Night Sister Rest, where they could take out a lot of squads, but you're never going to get that full banners because they don't recover protection.
Exactly.
Trouble says, I think my BAM team was his MVP with his R5 Candy Bed, so his Canderous Ordo. That's awesome. Bam might have been my MVP too, just because it was so flexible on offense and defense, and then I always kept it in that bottom back zone, so it got a lot of holds. And then when I needed it for offense, I was surprised sometimes. Those whistling birds, if you have a ton of offense on your Bam, it could absolutely destroy. I wiped out a whole team with them once last season. It was really good. All right, so next question is last question for the GAC. It's going to be what did you learn this season, going forward to the next seasons, and what can you do better, Brandon?
I think I learned more about balance. Like a lot of to succeed in GAC is to know your balance, like how much you are going to place if you are facing someone with a better roster or better ships. Like that fail of the Executrix fleet, man. I learned a lot of that, and also it makes me wonder, like how tough is going to be my defense in 3v3, because I faced 4 GLs this season, plus everyone had or JKL or Gas or a big Dart Revan, and that's going to be pretty tough to beat in 3v3, like maybe I won't get as many full clears, this season.
Yeah. No, it's like that. And everyone has a different roster and a different area where they're at. So you have to know your division, know your roster, know your mods, and then have to try to find that balance. And then as soon as you add something else new to the bag of tricks, then you have to readjust your balance again. So it's constantly changing. I feel you. What about you, Ray Rock?
As mentioned previously, just allow myself a little more time and finding that balance, as Brandon said. I typically, like I said, I like to go a little heavy on defense, 60% defense and 40% offense. I need to really trust my fleet because I just 7-star my executor yesterday, so I need to let that be a good cushion. Don't worry so much about the ground troops. I got a great fleet. I know no one can clear it because I put executor and negotiate on defense. And people probably say, "Oh my God, this guy. You know that again. It's a product of what GDX said. You know, you go all in on fleet early in the game, and that's what I did because that was my crystal income. I had a strong, solid rebel fleet that I always save on offense, and most people put rebel fleets on offense. I'm able to get 69, sometimes 70 banners because I don't bring in reinforcement because their rebels fleet, you know, is just garbage compared to mine. I'm able to just get Hans, Millennium Falcon, Business U-Wing, and Biggs. You just wipe them out because you know I got Relic Biston and Relic SRP. That my fleet will always go first. Always going to shoot them first. So I need to again just let my roster to do the work instead of just worrying about okay I need to set a little more heavy defense on the ground because you know I against the better opponents with great mods I need to really save both my GR for offense.
Yeah. And then that's good. It's just trusting your roster, trusting your defense that it's going to get
Sure.
the job done. That's something good to go into the next season. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you don't, you get so stressed out on the offensive end, and then that's where mistakes happen
Yeah,
because you're like,
especially when it goes sideways on something that you expect to go smoothly and it doesn't. And a lot of people, even a couple of years ago, I was in that situation. I probably panic and start, you know, just pointing, try to counter, and just digging myself in a bigger hole. Now I learned from my past mistake. I don't do that. You know, like everything all planned out as I mentioned earlier, using solo base method, just create a spreadsheet, list all the teams that you know you're going to face, list all your counters, and then on separate list the extra teams that you have potentially to use against the counter if it fails.
yeah, no, that's super smart. All right, and what about you, GDX? What did you learn this season, and what are you going to try to do better upcoming seasons?
Um, I would say probably the thing that I sort of upped my game in and learned was about doing a better job of scouting people that didn't have an SW GOH.GG account, you know, where you can't see what defenses they've played previously. And I mean, maybe you guys GPs probably don't deal with a lot of people, but I don't know, probably at least a third of the people I go against don't have an account, which really sucks. So just trying to like look at their offense win to defense win ratio, just figure out like, do they put their biggest baddest team on defense or not? So that's kind of helped me a bit in knowing whether or not I need to deal with their hardest team.
See, and that's awesome right there because people, like I say, in our our division, because I think me and Ray Rock are both Division 3. Um,
Yes.
we usually have just GGs, but a lot of people, especially in their earlier divisions, they don't do it on purpose so that you can scout them. But doing what you said right there, checking that offensive and that defensive number, trying to see what the percentage is, it helps you a little bit. But I could definitely, I can only imagine now that we're used to Swogo.gg. That could be tough. That's really tough.
And GDX, I don't know if you follow Fortmore. He has a great spreadsheet tool that would help you a great deal. I know it helped me for a situation as you just mentioned. You can't scout someone. He's got this spreadsheet that would help you figure out if your opponent is a potential, you know, heavy on offense or heavy on defense. So get with me on the Discord, and I'll give you the information.
That's
Okay,
a great
awesome.
tool
That'd
too.
be great.
Good stuff, guys. So that's our GSC portion. We're going to come to our last portion. We're going to talk a little bit about next season and what you guys are going to do right there, um, and a little bit about the off season as well. So starting off with the off season, did you guys do any upgrades this off season? Any new tools, anything that you're going to be able to play with that you didn't have last season? Starting off with Brandon.
Yeah, I'm developing, well, not entirely, but up to G9, the Handbach brothers, the Resistant Bros, because I feel that it's a very strong team, you know. And now that I have, well, I'm going from JML, you know, and now I have JTR and R2D2 relics. So those guys, I'm planning to exploit them. Like at what point they can remain and be an also and be awesome. Like and how high they can punch. And after this conquest, I'll unlock Cat. So I'll ask her for week 2 or week 3. So let's see how strong is she and how far I can take her gear-wise. I'm planning to use her to climb in arena against Jedi Master Kenobi. So, well, I'll see. Gladiator. I saw Gladiator in your Discord server talking about how he climbs. So I'm very interested to see or to test how low my Pathme Cat team can be be able to counter efficiently Jedi Master Kenobi.
That's awesome, man. Hey, good stuff right there too, especially with
Yeah.
the handbag bros. Those guys, man, they punch. Especially if you already have them the
Yeah,
requirements for JML.
you recommended me those guys when you reviewed my roster. Don't you remember? Yeah. So I'm already doing it. I
Hey,
followed
that's
your advice
awesome.
of Daka, and awesome. I love Night Sisters.
Hey, there you go. Hey, then congrats on Cats too. Cats a game changer. It's gonna help you big time.
Thanks, well.
All right, and what about you, Ray Rock? What you work on?
Oh man, I have so many new toys just this week. Um, right before JC, or not JC, TW Lock, I was, as I mentioned earlier, I got my Executor at 7-star from 6-star. So I put them on defense in the front wall. I'm just kind of anxious to see how well they're going to perform because I did tweak with the modding to make sure that Xanadu Blood will go before my Razor Crest. My other toys that I bought up at the same time before TW Lock was my Dark Trooper, aka Mike Tyson. I got him to gear, was it gear 13 or yeah? I got him to Relic 3 today, but I got him to gear 13 at lock. I also got Creo and IG11 at G13. So I kind of tweaked with the mod today, just to make him a little faster and make it a little more better. I plan to use BAM with them. So be interested to see how well they perform in the backwall. Hopefully it'll surprise some people. The other thing that I've been working on is the troopers. I've been kind of, I guess, the stepchild, I guess you could call it, because I was working on GOK on the farm requirement and then the executor. So now that those are out of the way, I've been working to get them to, if not Relic, at least G12, for the GAC lock. And today I got both Veers Start and Range Trooper all gear 11. So they're getting close to gear 12. Hopefully, like I said, if I could get all the gears in time, I will get them at least gear 12, if not Relic, for the next GAC next week.
That's awesome, man. So you were playing. You have a lot of new toys in the bag that you can work with now. That's gonna
Yeah,
be nice, Ray Rock.
a lot more option. That's going to help me again to mention when I was telling you, I need to say more offense. So right there, that's a nice potential 2-3 teams on offense. Or like I said, I could put Bam and Creo and IG on defense or save for offense.
And it's funny how BAM and Troopers are one of those teams that allow you so much flexibility in your roster. Troopers, if you have a solid decked out Trooper squad, you can just throw it on an offense and it takes out a grip of stuff on defense. It's almost my plug and play squad. That's another MVP squad for me, I think, this season. That's good stuff. That's awesome that you're going to have them ready to go. And like you said, you're Mike Tyson.
1-2 punch.
There you go.
I love
All
that
right.
character's animation. It just cracks me up every time he jumps and boom, boom.
And what about you, GDX? What did you do this off season? What new toys are you going to be able to play with?
Yes, this has actually been pretty huge. I unlocked Malik yesterday. So having Malik will be a huge win for me, and then also Malevolence. So now I'll have both meta fleets. Actually, I ended up getting Malevolence to 6-star because of the event. I would have just had a 5-star and then 7-star Negotiator first. So between those two, that's a pretty big upgrade for me. I was gonna unlock Cat. I was gonna save 10 days worth of energy, over 10,000 energy to unlock Cat with the event later this month. But it turns out you can't save more than 2,000 while still buying refreshes. So I got blocked on that front. So oh
Mm.
well.
At least you have a little bit of a cushion right there.
Yeah, no, I'll get like 70 crystals off that or 70 shards off that event instead of the like 185 I need to unlock her. So,
Yeah.
oh well, I'll still get her like 2 months earlier,
Hey, that's
probably
awesome.
before my GP level because I'm getting max grade on normal.
Yeah. But the malevolence, especially for you, is 2 million GP. That's going to be a game changer, especially in GAC.
Absolutely. I mean, the Malik is huge. So I'll have him
Oh, Malik too.
probably gear 10 for the first round, but I mean, first round. I mean, if you're not going 3 for 3 on that, it's kind of. I mean, you either got unlucky or made a huge mistake. But I should have him relic for round 2, I think.
Nice, nice. And what's up to Calvin in the chat too? I saw him pop up in there. Do you want to say what's up to him? All right. So going for the next question for upcoming 3v3 season. So what are your plans for the first week? Are you guys going to ease yourself into it, or are you guys going to go your normal strat like you're going to do the rest of the season? Starting off with Ray Rock this time because you're the closest to me.
For week one, what I learned is you can't really use your standard philosophy or strategy, I should say, because you get a lot of people nowadays that either auto deploy, which no one likes auto deploy. That's not a fun defense to fight against. Or people that will set heavy defense on you. That's something I learned. So for week one, I definitely going to go a little light on defense and make sure I say enough team to full clear. Because my past mistake is, as I mentioned already, I have a tendency to go 60% defense and 40% offense. I mean, people that auto deploy or set heavy defense do that to me. I can't full clear, and that's what caused me not to reach my goal that I finally reached this past season to finish in the top 100. So that's something I'm going to focus on. Again, rely on my executor fleet. I know they're going to get me whole. Just make sure I have enough for offense in case I trip up on something trivial. I'm able to still clear them.
Nice. And we'll go GDX this time because you're the second closest.
I mean, I'll probably go with a pretty normal how I go. I mean, I usually try to keep one extra team just in case I drop a battle. But yeah, I mean, usually I scout them and try to make sure that I have more than enough to get the full clear and then just set as hard of a defense as possible. Sorry, I gotta go on mute. Baby boy's having issues.
You're good, man. You're good. What about you, Brandon?
Well, I think I'll go for full efficiency this time, like at least the first 2 weeks, because auto deploying in Division 6 was tough, like I wasn't really able to clear. So I'll try to save everything unless they have a GL. If they have one, I'll wait till PrimeBot tell me if they set me a defense or not. So it's the chicken game for me.
That's smart though. That's smart. All right. So last question we got right here. What are your goals for next season? Are you guys going for 12-0? Is that the goal? Are you going more top 10 like Brandon was this season? Top 100 like Ray Rock? What's your goal for next season? Starting off with Ray Rock. You're still on mute, Ray Rock.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
My goal is to improve on my this past season, which is to do better than top 100. I finished undefeated last season, 13 wins in a row. Previously I had a 38 match win streak snap. So I'm trying to build a new one, of course. Also, I like to finish in the top 50. I've never done that before. Again, what I mentioned before is say more for offense and rely on my fleet on defense. I think that should help me reach top 50. The only other thing that I want to achieve is continue on my winning streak as well as my non-full clear streak. I'm one of those guys. I'm a big stats guy. I pride myself, as you already know, Tilo, I mentioned it many times. I pride myself on defense, and I pride myself that my opponent can't clear me. Right now, I'm sitting on a 19 round streak or no full clear by my opponent, 51 out of 53 rounds, and I like to continue that. Maybe hit 100 potentially, but we'll see.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love the defensive play. What about you, GD? Or if you can, GDX, what's
Yep.
your goals for next season?
So my biggest goal would just be going 12-0 again. This past GAC, I went 12-0 for the first time ever, which was huge. If I could do that again, I'd be really pumped, especially given that I just unlocked Malevolence and upgraded the two pilotless separatist ships. So I put a huge amount of GP on my ship roster. So I'm expecting much tougher opponents this coming GAC. So I'm hoping that having the Malik for character defense will kind of offset the tougher opponents. I'm thinking by the next 5v5, I should have sort of stabilized my account. So yeah, if I can just go 12-0, I'd be pretty happy.
Heck yeah, that's awesome right there. Anything close to 12-0, even 11-1, and I'm the master at 11-1. That was my curse after this season. But congrats again on your first 12-0 season. That's really, really big, and that's big time right there. Hopefully, you continue to do that.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think I'll do that more often now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're going to be a wrecker in the GSC tournament. So we might see you again next month. All right. And what about you, Brandon? What's your goal?
I think my goal is the same as GDX. This was my first 12-0 season. I got it before earlier on my alt account, so I'll try to keep the streak on my main, if it's possible. If no, I just chill because 3v3 is tough for everyone. Just chill and try to get as many other stuff in game. Like developing. I don't know about you and territory wars, but for example, my guild right now is like trying to boost. Like we develop our teams to gain more GP, and I'm kind of doing that right now. Like blowing up my GP to help towards the guild goals. Like just, and because of that, I'll try to don't have as many expectations in GAC.
Yeah. No, and that's an awesome goal right there, 12-0. So, and congrats to you too. Awesome that both of you guys hit 12-0 for this season, the first time ever. And super congrats to Brandon for winning the tournament off his first 12-0. So, good stuff to you.
Good job, Brandon. Proud of you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. I'm having a lot of fun in the tournament.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You are really great players.
Yeah, no, and so are you. You won that jug, so you're the best player of the season last time. But that's pretty much going to do it for our stream. Like the whole stream was about, it was about the GAC tournament that we run on the Discord. Let me drop a link real quick right there for you guys. If you guys want to join, if you guys want to be a part of the Discord, if you guys want to try to compete with these guys, even though they're killers, even though they're beasts, you can throw your hat into the ring as well and try to beat them. And again, we're going to be doing this on a monthly basis. So next GAC tournament, when that comes around, the top 5 of the GAC tournament can join me on stream, as well as the top 3 on the defensive end. So hopefully you guys join up, and hopefully you guys end up in the top spot. But all right, guys, anything you guys want to say before we go? Ray Rock, can you start off?
Yeah, I was gonna say you should mention anybody should join, and don't be afraid that you're gonna get embarrassed. I was the same way when I first joined Tilo's tournament when he invited me, because I saw Calvin's in there and I saw Yeti. I know those guys. Like, man, they got great mods, and my mods are not bad, but they're not nothing like them. But you just never know. I mean, as I mentioned, if someone throws an auto deploy defense and Yeti wasn't expecting or Calvin wasn't expecting, they might have an off week. And if you happen to have an opponent that plays and you do real well, you could win. You never know.
100%. 100%. GDX, anything you want to close out with?
I just wanted to say I generally really appreciate you running these tournaments. Like, it just adds an extra level of fun to GAC, because I'm thinking through, like, how can I beat this guy? And also, how can I beat this guy in a way that also maximizes my points for the tournament? So, it just makes it more fun. And I got to be like, oh, can I hold the front bottom, or should I do sort of like a controlled retreat to the back wall where I set stuff that's like just good enough for them to use their top 2 fleets or top 2 teams in the front bottom, and then just have like a killer team in the back. So I don't know. It's a lot of fun. It just makes it a little bit more challenging, which I love.
That's awesome, man. But if it messes up, it's not my fault. Not just play.
I mean, it's just a game. It's just for fun.
No, I know. I'm just playing with you. And Brandon, anything you want to close out with?
I think that Ray Rock and GDX were they talk enough about the tournament, and I agree with both perspectives. And I just will say, may the force be with you guys, and thanks for having me here.
100%. Thanks, and thank you guys all for being here. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed this with you guys.
Well, Tilo, I'd like to, on behalf of everybody, I'd like to thank you for not just for the tournament, just you creating your Discord before, having so much information on there. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the help from you as well as other fellow players. It's their community. I know many people mention many times that's what keep them in the game, and it's true. If it weren't for people that really are passionate about the game and really enjoy it, I wouldn't be still playing it. I mean, I got so frustrated with this Conquest grind gears. Like, oh, man, if it weren't for the community, I would have quit.
I feel you, man, and thank you guys all. You guys helped me big time too. But all right, guys, we're gonna call it on this one. I probably kept you guys a little bit over what I told you guys, anyways. We're gonna raid into Yeti, so hopefully everybody raids over there. We're gonna see what he's doing over there. But again, thank you guys for showing up, and thank you guys for all being a part of the stream. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks a lot.
I probably should have said it a little bit earlier and put raid. So we'll wait for everybody to go. All right, now we're ready.